Hey there, welcome back to another video. If you've been following along, you might have seen my YouTube short. We got this motor running the other day. So it's raining outside, but I'm in the shed. So let's start tearing this thing down and converting it into a beetle motor so it can go in 64 bug. Alright, so all I want to do today is just rip off, the exhaust, all the cooling tinware, probably leave the dizzy in and the fuel pump, those sort of things, but other than that I want to basically get everything off. It's not on the engine stand just yet because we don't have the proper V-dub one and we don't really trust this thing at the moment. But you know what, we'll just put you on time lapse and let's start taking this thing apart. Alright, so I've made a fair bit of progress, got all the front off, one heat heater box thing, still got to get all this off, fuel pump off. I didn't want to, but I need to get a bolt. Obviously eventually I have to come off and get rebuilt. Anyway, one thing is when you're taking the pulley off, this thing here, it's got these two bolts, right? But if you keep twisting them in, it's just going to dent that. At least it didn't break that. So what I've done is when I was doing this, I was putting this in from like that and then pushing the bolt onto that bolt there onto that plate, so that it would squish all that down and that wouldn't happen. So it's a bit of a tip. I think then it might be a proper tool to do that, but I don't have that. So that's what I've done now, and let's keep going. Okay, so a lot has been stripped off here and I've started cleaning with the wire wheel off camera. Anyway, so that's all off. A few things I took off that I didn't intend on taking off, but they're off. What I want to do next is I want to take the clutch off so we can fit on the, engine stand better. But also, I've realised we've got a bent pushrod tube. So what I'll do is I'll probably take that head off. I might have seals here and here. Otherwise, I don't think there's a head gasket for V-dubs. So that should be good. So we'll take that off and fix that. I don't really want to do that, but that's no use. So I'm going to take the clutch off and then see what we can do. Alright, so I got the clutch off. I'm just not sure about mounting this up. I know it's not the proper one. You need to get the V-dub one, but these sort of just hit that flange there on my 6-volt motor. They're a lot better on the beetle motor. Anyway, so I don't think I'll be able to put it on the stand. But what I'll do is I'll rip this off and start getting this head out to replace that. Okay, so I've taken all the heads off, and over in this container here I've cleaned everything up and labelled like left to right, and also got the push rods out there. Push rods aren't bent, but the push rod tube is obviously, that's not great. So I took both off. I've got these new seals here, over here. This says for 1200, so I suppose they'd be the same, I'm not too sure. Also got piston rings for a 1200, so I wonder if they would work for a 1600. I'll have to research that. If not, we probably are gonna, we've decided we'll take a lot more off. Originally it was not take the heads off, then we found that, and then we took the heads off, and now we decided we'll probably take the barrels off and do piston rings. I don't know if we'd split the case. I still don't really like the idea of that too much, but we might have to do that. I don't know. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put this motor on this, jack this up, and undo the sump. because it's still not really willing to go on this, but I don't know, I might just buy an engine stand, or we might be able to build the whole thing without a stand. So I'll get that on there and let's drain the oil. Okay, so I've done it again. I haven't pressed record. Anyway, I filmed me draining the oil of this, so just imagine that happened. So that's just filling up there, emptying that. So once I do that, I could take this off, which is the Type 3 one, because I'll eventually buy the Beetle one, which goes here. And yeah, see what we do next. Okay, so you can see the barrels and pistons are all out of the block. So we've decided we'll probably split the case. May as well while we're at this stage. So what we've got to do now is I might leave the flywheel on, because I think it's just, I've got to undo this and then pull it off, which I don't know if I really can do that. I've seen how they do it. Or I'll just split the case and leave this on the crank. So we'll see what I'm going to do there. Okay, so we've torn it all apart, took everything off, and this is where we're at now. So you can see the insides of the motor. Here's the other side, so I've started cleaning this up. I'll clean it up a bit better, just trying to get all the oil out and stuff. Another thing we sort of noticed is when we were taking everything apart, we saw the pistons here have Repco written in them there, and this seal looks relatively modern, so we're assuming the motor has been reconditioned at some stage, because I've seen that the heads have already been repaired and taken off, so we reckon it's already had a reco. So what's next is I'll keep cleaning this off camera because it's not really entertaining. And then we want to check clearances with all this stuff, take all this out, clean this, put it all back together, put that case back on this, and then we're pretty much good to get some new gaskets. Then paint the cylinders, probably bore them out at some stage, put them on, oh sorry, not bore, hone them, just give them a quick clean, put them on. Same with pistons. I don't know if we'll do rings, we'll see what we're doing with that. And then cylinder heads, might be lapping valves. I'm trying to make this as affordable as possible and getting everything happening. This cylinder head here has been cracked and has had some repairs done to it, so we either use this one or I get my other fastback motor and rip stuff off that. And then some push rods, 1 or 2 need replacing. Same with the push rod tube, that bent one. And then we should be back in business just to put the Beetle tinware on. So let me clean this up and I'll get back to you. Okay, so we've started to clean up. I'll get to that in a minute. So we've cleaned this block here, gotten rid of all the grease and stuff, and then we've just transferred the crankshaft and cam and cleaned up the lifters in that one. So we're going to clean this up and then put this on that hopefully, and then, you know, to seal it up, torque it up and everything, and oil it up. So yeah. Okay, sorry about some wind noise, but we're just taking a break from the motor real quick. What we're going to do now is I got a parts order of a few different things. Now there's a few things I forgot, so I can't really put on, but basically I've got my bumpers in there, my running boards. I already put this one on. Check that out. And the chrome trim. So I'll probably put the chrome trim on now. And I've only put one running board on. There's one still to go on this side. They're the MP billet alloy ones with the black details in here. I think they look real nice. Here, let's see if I can get the light on that. So, you know, obviously running board's not a you know, sort of functional thing. It's more decorative. You're not actually supposed to use it as a step, but I think that looks really nice. I can't get one bolt in though, so I'll have to work out what I'm going to do about that in a minute. But let's get some stuff out and start putting the chrome trim on the outside. Alright, so what I've got here is I've got the clips themselves. I've got a bonnet handle, a new one, because that one's not great looking. It looks probably fine on camera, but it's not. The rubber boots for them, or the little, you know, hat sort of things. The trim itself, and then these clips here for the badge, because that badge there is currently sitting there. So I'll quickly put the badge in properly off camera and then start filming something. Okay, so this video hasn't been exactly clear and I haven't really filmed much at all of what I've been doing. Like, I've probably filmed 30%. So I thought I'd push the beetle outside and let me flip you around and walk you through what's been going on lately. A bit of a catch up. So here is the beetle. So got it outside. You can see the chrome trim on there. Got that, the MP billet alloy running boards on both sides. Also got the front bumpers on, headlights in, not wide up, but they're in there. Indicators on. So all that good stuff. Obviously on this side, same thing. At the back here, got the deck lid on, and this, still need a few more nuts for that. I do want to get the adjustable standoff deck lid eventually, so I've just put this on so it's not in storage getting damaged. It's there. I chucked just the backrest in. Oh, and headliner, which is the reason why it's sitting outside right now. Headliner isn't going in too great. We did have to modify and sew a little bit, but obviously I've done that off camera. So it's out the sun here just to, you know, sort of stretch out, I guess, just in the heat. And hopefully we can get that fitting a bit better, because it's really not great. So that's why I put the backrest in, so we could actually, well, sorry, the back seat base, which I don't mind. I know I'm not going to stick with this trim, but I actually don't mind that pattern. Anyway, so obviously the headliner isn't looking too great. It is the standard, so that's the whole headliner. There's none around here. That's it. Coming onto the inside, just get in here. So what we've done here is we went to a swap meet not too long ago and picked up a quick shift. I don't know if I even filmed in the last video or this video, but I got the, what's it called? The shift rod bushing. So the shift rod bushing, you know, street parts to tighten that and the back up. I'll put a photo on the screen if I remember. Anyway, so that's really tightened up the gears. Plus with this quick shift, that's the furthest distance I've got. It's really, you can really feel it go into gear, which is nice. Also, I made the tacho on that short sort of video, and then it just started hitting this, so I had to make a longer tacho bracket, which it doesn't look great, but it looks okay. Obviously that tacho is angled to me, so I can just look down and, you know, sort of know where to shift. So, and then obviously I'm gonna have to paint this ivory. You know, I don't know what I'm doing with the shift knob, if I keep that forever or change it. I'm not super stressed, but yeah, that's what's happened. Also, these repop trim were sticking out probably 5 to 7 mil too much. So what we did off camera is I cut them down there and slid them across. I am and aren't happy with it. This was an absolute pain to get on. I don't think I filmed how bad that was, but that was terrible. But just that chrome sitting up a bit there, and here's the worst spot for me. But you know, also headlight rubbers. That black there, I'm really not happy about that. It's not sitting right. So I'll have to remedy that. But you know, the car doesn't look too bad. I'm pretty pleased with the look of it. So yeah, so that's what we've done. Also the bumper, I'll just show you the go with that. So this was a whole ordeal in itself. We had to slot some holes here to make it fit properly. Also had to slot this one massively, and it's not because the bumper irons are incorrect, it's because we replaced this whole front end from about here forward, and these aren't manufactured exactly how they should be, so that was a big problem in itself. Alright, just editing this video right now, I've realised I haven't done an outro. So with all that said, done, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.